Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining me for another business owner interview. My name is Kyron Rabani. I am with Pinnacle Action Coach. We are a business coaching firm that serves Ohio and Northern Kentucky. And it's my pleasure today to introduce Brian Steenhoek. He is the president of A2Z Photography and Video. Brian, thank you for joining us.
Hey, thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. So, Brian, tell us about your business.
So A2Z photography and video actually stemmed from a hobby, and a passion of flying drones. So I had a friend that had a DJI Spark and just kind of introduced me to the drone concept. And I said, man, I really like that. It was pretty awesome. I got hooked on it. And so I started flying myself. I actually purchased a DJI Spark. And then my passion kind of continually grew. I wanted to get bigger drones and better drones. So I went and got a DJI Maverick 2. Had that for a little while. Then I wanted to go with the Pro. So I invested a lot into DJI, great company. And then I had a DJI Pro actually crashed that one, and had some I was able to sell parts and accessories, and I eventually was able to get a DJI Pro 2, which is the drone that we use now. So the passion grew from just the fun of flying drones, to I heard that you could commercially become a pilot. So I studied for the 107 FAA, drone pilot's license. Um, Took the exam and became a licensed drone pilot. And after that, I said, well, shoot, I can actually take this passion and turn it into an actual company. And so I actually launched, it was A2Z Aerial Solutions first, and then it eventually grew to change to A2Z Photography and Video, because the drone portion of the business started implementing other areas of photography to be able to support complete services, everything from inspections to real estate. But they wanted to be able to see if we could do 360 tour walkthroughs, if we could do still photography, interior, exterior. So we basically just kind of continue to grow, and that's how it's now A2Z Photography and Video. So we supply everything in a lot of different revenues in drone photography. So you could do event photography, commercial photography, residential photography, but then being able to support a lot of the stills and even 360 Mataports or Zillow. So we're certified in a lot of different areas to be able to supply those services to a lot of different industries. And as we continue to expand, we train with some of the companies that give us additional training to be able to expand our services as well. And as we continue to do that, we'll also expand those services, to meet customer demand.
That's awesome. I think it's always great to hear someone takes their passion to a place that becomes a career and it starts a business and you serve a niche audience. That's always fantastic, and it's always wonderful to hear. When it comes to your ideal clients, are you more of a B2B, like a business to business entity, or do you serve more like consumers, homeowners?
We've done both.
Okay.
So when we originally first started, one of the biggest contracts that we've had was with a major manufacturing company, where we did it was a $250,000 square foot warehouse, and they wanted to do photography and video. And we actually flew the drone inside their warehouses and was able to take aerials inside. And then we did aerial shots like bird's eye, dolly shots, trucker shots, different shots outside of the commercial building. They wanted to use it for marketing and branding for their website and products. We actually had to blur out everything about their product line, but for the most part, they use a lot of that for their branding and their website. But then also residential, we've done some video tours where you completely do a walkthrough on a residential property
Mhm.
of a real estate sale, where we actually use high end sliders, gimbals. Um, we actually invested in some high end Fuji film,
Mhm.
camera equipment, and lenses to be able to provide high def HDR pictures for real estate. And then recently, we have invested in a Record Z1, which does 360 tours where you can actually tour the property, where you can actually follow markers on the ground uh,
Mhm.
at the property, and then they can see a 360 visual tour all the way around each room. So it's
That's really
like they don't
cool.
even have to step inside the house to take a look at what it looks like. They can actually visually see, and then you can link every room and outside exterior pictures, everything kind of all
Mhm.
stitched together. So and then of course we do some fun stuff too, where we've done just aerial shots of people's homes. We've done some event
Mhm.
photography with aerial shots. We can do actually do some custom photography with aerials for for weddings, if they want that unique perspective. So
Mhm.
if you take a picture of 100 feet or 50 feet above the ground, you can't get that with any other type of service. So the
Mhm.
drone part of it brings a whole new perspective to clients from a picture view, because a lot of times people like to climb high on top of something, be able to look down or look out over a horizon. Well, you can do that with a
Mhm.
drone, because you could actually fly up, 300, 400 feet, and be able to take, pictures at all different angles.
That's really cool. And I've seen those 360 tours like on Zillow or some other property listings, and it is really interesting, right? I mean, it saves everyone time, right? The
Right.
realtor doesn't have to go there, the prospective buyer doesn't have to go there. So it really helps streamline a process for sure.
Yeah, exactly right. And we're also, as we continue to expand, we are Zillow. We're Zillow certified photographers, so we can do 360s. But there's also some other services that provide um, like drone base and IO drone. Sometimes they do real estate, or they do inspections, and a lot of times we can provide services through 360, etc.
Awesome. So thinking about COVID, and there's a lot of companies who have seen kind of the bad side of COVID, and there's other companies that it hasn't affected them at all. Where does your company stand? How have you been affected by COVID, and if you have, how have you dealt with it?
Yeah, it really hasn't affected us. We're really actually a pretty new launch. We we take um, things seriously when we do have to do a 360 tour, or if we have to make contact with a customer. We do follow protocol, and we do mask. But a lot of times, when we're doing certain services, the clients aren't even around. They don't have to be there for us to. And this when you're outdoors, drone doing aerials and stuff like that.
Mhm.
They can stand back and watch, but it's really not affected our business to
Okay.
this point, other than people maybe not wanting to do something because of the COVID thing. But it
Mhm.
really it really hasn't affected us, too much to this point.
That's good, and that's really good, and I'm really, really happy for you guys, and for that reason. Um, so you're a newer company, and you've found this niche, and you've got a client base. So I would imagine your company's probably poised for growth at this point. If you guys are on the growth pattern, how are you preparing your company to accommodate that growth?
That's a great question. So we are working with some external companies to help us with our marketing, branding, website development.
Mhm.
But I think the most important thing is to take care of our clients,
Mhm.
and we try to we're really honing a lot of it around our Google business page,
Yeah, yeah.
trying to make sure that we get 5-star positive reviews,
Mhm,
because that in itself, everything hinges pretty much on Google. So if we strive to get 5-star reviews on Google, we can link that all to our social media platforms.
mhm,
Um, so I think the thing moving forward, we just want to make sure that one, we meet the need, and then we supply the best service. So ultimately, when we ask for them to leave us a 5-star review, they have
mhm,
no problems, and we've done that. And being a relatively new launch, we've got some nice reviews already on Google. So we want to continue to grow that. I'd like to see, by the end of this year, I'd like to see 75 5-star reviews.
mhm.
So we've got some mountains ahead of us, but
Yep.
I think as we continue to grow and show what services that we can provide, um, and we're at the stage right now where we're just trying to develop our portfolio.
Mhm.
So we're willing to provide a free basic service just to get our foot in the door, and
Awesome.
then being able to show them that we can handle their demand, and then ultimately gain a lifetime client. That's the goal.
Mhm. So for the folks watching, can you expand a little bit more on your free basic service so that anyone who would like to take advantage of that, they know exactly um, what that entails?
Yeah. So for instance, if you're doing anything with real estate, we can do a full real estate shoot, whether it's video, whether it's still, whether it's aerial. And the free service would be like, for instance, I could do a full 360 tour
Mhm,
for free. Or if they didn't want to do the tour, then we potentially could do 25 HDR photos for free, and then they would just have to pay for the aerials. Or if it was a commercial project, we would work out maybe some shots for
mhm,
free or discounted rates. So again, anything that we provide, because we can do everything from headshots, we can do everything from real estate, we can do commercial, we can do aerials, we can do inspections. I would definitely work out something where it's some type of basic discount,
mhm,
typically probably close to like 20% off of our services, just to get get the portfolio built so that we can use them, and then ultimately get the 5-star review on Google.
mhm,
That's the thing we want. We want to be able to. We're willing to discount or give some specialty discounts to be able to get those reviews, and develop that portfolio, because then we can use that to kind of continue to expand our services.
Fantastic. I'm going to be sure to include that offer along with this interview online. So, what's been one of your biggest learnings since starting your business?
What was the question?
What's been one of your biggest learnings since starting your business?
I think the biggest thing, since when you launch an LLC, there's a balance to everything. So it's financial, it's time management. It comes down to marketing, sales, customer service. There's a lot of pieces that are
Mhm,
involved, and you got to definitely keep a balance, and you got to continually to market and follow up, and then also you want to make sure that you keep your clients happy. So the challenge is keeping that balance without without doing so many things where you get deterred. So a lot of time, so as we grow, we're kind of taking some of those things off of our plate and giving those to other
yeah,
entities, so that we can focus on what's most important. But trying to do it all yourself, that's the challenge, and then keeping track of everything, and then making sure that we don't get a 1-star review, and we continue to get 5-star reviews on Google.
you're right. You're absolutely right. There's so many moving pieces to a business, especially as it's growing. And I think a lot of people will pigeonhole themselves and not hand off where they can hand off and not delegate where they can delegate. and continue to try to do everything alone as a one-man shop. And so it's great to know that you've kind of gotten past that, because that definitely puts you on a really great growth place.
Yeah, and the thing is you can't do it all.
No.
You
Who
can
wants to do it all? Nobody wants to do it all.
you can try, but it's eventually going to catch up to you, and
Mhm.
you're going to have to allocate some things if you want to be able to keep the growth going.
Yep, absolutely. So last thing I want to ask you today is what gives you inspiration?
Um, the taking the passion,
Hmm.
and what's exciting is taking the passion of flying a drone recreationally, and then being able to progress into a company to
Hmm.
supply, and then still being able to keep that passion. So when I'm doing a mission or I'm flying, you still have that passion of fun, exciting, but then on the flip side of that, you also wanted to make sure that one, you're providing the best top service to your
Hmm.
client, and then making sure that they're completely satisfied with the work, and then continuing that relationship. that's
Yeah.
that's important. And then the referral, obviously, there a lot of this is going to be referral based too, because they're
Hmm.
going to look at a service and they're going to say, hey man, if you really want to get some really cool aerials and inspections, and have some high end uh you know depth pics, as
Hmm.
well as all the information that you need to back it, you need to take a look at A2Z photography and video, and that's basically what we want.
Awesome. Amazing. Awesome. That's great. So that pretty much concludes our conversation. Brian, I want to thank you for joining us today.
Well, thank you very much. I'm excited to work with you guys, and the opportunity to be able to share, and hopefully we can maybe gain some new clientele.
Absolutely.